B'Shem Hashem Naaseh V'Nasliach, we continue with the wonderful lesson from Sefer Pele Yoetz, the wondrous advice from Harav Eliezer Papu, Alav Shalom. And this is part 2 of Sheker Lie, that the topic about lying and not being truthful. Okay, Ukevar his hiru Razal, as our rabbis already warned us or informed us, Delo lima ish leyanucha la'asot lo o lighnot lo shum davar ulvavo lo ken yachshov kedei shelo yilmedu leshaker וما מאוד צריך לעמוד על משמר על בנים ועל תלמידים שלו לימדו לשקר. So a person needs to be very careful, right, from very early stage in life, right, that he should not do something that could have two meanings, or maybe his true intention in his heart is something else, but that's not really what he's doing, or what he has in mind, right, is not what he's really doing in action. Why? Because people might feel and people might understand that he's not being truthful, he's not real, and then especially if he's a father, right, his children would learn how to be hypocrite, not to be truthful. And if he's a Rav, his Talmidim, his students, right, might come to learn not to be truthful. Shelo yilmedu lasheker, that he should not be a role model, right, of sheker, of lying. V'af im yaseh hatinuk, and if he has a child and he does something, davar shelo kahugen im yeh modeh al haemet lo, if he did a mistake, right, with somebody who's a son or a daughter or even a student, it's better that he would confess and he said, I made a mistake, right? Lo yakenu ella yazirenu. Now, right, especially when it comes to teaching to your children, if one's child came and said sheker, over here it's talking about chinuch, right, raising your children, and if the child is lying, right, that's the more precise understanding of here according to Sukkah. If one's child came and he lied, don't give him a big slap, or don't take out your belt, like the minhag of some Persians, older Persians, right, kama band. Why? What is that going to do? Next time, if the son does a mistake, right, or he said a lie, then he's trying to cover it as much as possible. It's going to become worse, right? When you give kotak, when you give bodily punishment, or you give too much of punishment, then that individual will try to be, very protective of himself or herself, not to get caught. So maybe the whole lifetime goes without any confession, without corrections, and the guy is just covering up everything in his life. Right? If you want to be a good father and a good Rav, right, and your children or your students made a statement that wasn't true, right, don't give them double punishment. If they confess, right, accept that confession and go ahead. Don't give double punishment. As it says in the Gemara, if there was an individual that was brought into court and the court asked him, did you steal? And he said, yes, I did. Right? So what he's supposed to do is supposed to return or pay for that which is stole. But if he said, I did not steal, and he gets caught, and there's double punishment. There's all sorts of more punishments, right? So it's better that you leave room for a person to confess, right? To admit to his wrongdoing, and this way, with the trust that you're building, you accomplish much more. Right? Feel free to ask questions. I can pause this. Right? So yeah, ve'im yeshaker yakenu makut gidulot al sheker ula yesh tikva sheychanech hana b'nerech emet v'gam ki yazich lo yasum mimena. Now in the older days, if the child came and confessed, right, don't give kotak. In the older days, when the kotak worked, when the slap in the face worked, right? Says Harav Eliezer, Papa Alav Shalom, give a little bit kotak, that would not repeat it again. But these days, rabbis or sages do not recommend kotak, unless if it really doesn't hurt. I remember when I was in Vienna, I would go to this Hasid family with Mr. Manucher. You know who I'm talking about. We used to go on Shabbat nights, right? They didn't know English, and we didn't know Yiddish, so we used sign language. For months we went to them, and one time this family's daughter did something wrong. If I remember correctly, she came under the table, and while we were enjoying Shabbat food, right, she tied our shoelaces together, and the father found out about it. So the father called her up, come, and held, right, and the father took her hand, her little hand, and very slowly touched, like banged on her hand. And the daughter looked at the father. They started crying as if, she got a whole kotak with wealth kamaband. Right? The point was that the father was able to show her, right, that I'm not happy with your deed. That which you did was not right. I did not expect you to do this. This is a right message. The right message needs to be, you give an uplift to the person. I don't expect this from you. Right? You're much more than this. Right? You are much higher than this. Yeah. They always say, those who are fearful of others, they lie. If you're afraid of something, you lie. If you're not afraid, you're afraid of Hashem. The only one that you are afraid of is Hashem. Then you have nothing to hide. Right? Why should you lie? Right? That's it. ובכל הרחקה מן השגל, ובכלל הרחקה מן השגל, שלא יאמר לחברו אם חייב לו, לך ושוב ומחר אתן. And especially if a person wants to stay away from lying, he should not tell to his friend, I'm obligated to return you something, right? Im chayav lo, but he's not confessing. He's telling, come back tomorrow, and I tell you tomorrow. I give it to you tomorrow. Right? What are you trying to lie? You have it now, his item, his object, or the money that you owe him. But for whatever reason you cannot give it, just be truthful. Honestly, I have your item. I have the money that I owe you. But do you mind if I give it to you tomorrow? אלא אם לא יוכל ליתן האמת, יורה דרכו ותחנונים ידבר רש. But if a person cannot really say the emet, then he needs to go, right? And he needs to be truthful. Right? You cannot do it, but just be truthful. Don't hide the facts. Be truthful. Right? It's better. They say, right, it's much harder to lie than being truthful. Right? There is a machine called lie machine. I don't know if the courts use it. Maybe they used it once. I don't know what they did with it. Right? That this machine, they connected to one's vital, the heart and the body. And if a person, do they use it in courts? No. The lawyers got rid of it, and they got rid of it because they need, they need to survive. Right? With all the respect to unethical lawyers who listen to this lecture, right? Right? You need to be a true lawyer, right? So that these individuals, right, when they lie, the heart starts pumping hard, right? The blood pressure goes up, right? So the machine detects what happened. Something is happening. It's trying to lie. Or many times a person who is lying would not look straight in your eyes. No, look up to the sides, look down, as if to say that, or shaky, that neshama is bothered. Right? Vejdanesh narahate. Right? His inner feelings, his inner neshama is upset. Viyadua, and it is known. Shegedola haraat hamachtiet chavero yoter ma'aroko, and is known. A person that causes his friend to become a chote, to become a sinner, is even worse than committing murder, even worse than killing him. Why? Because if a person kills another person, it says in Bamidbar Rabbah, right? A person is killed once in a physical form, but the spiritual form, the neshama, the soul, never dies. So a person that is misleading another Yehudi, another human being, that mislead could continue for many years, for many years, right? For a long time, maybe the whole life. Maybe this misleading would go and even continue to his olam haba. Right? Now, let's say he told him, there was this individual in Iran that once came to our home, and I owe him big hakarat, big appreciation, because that which he said really made me to become curious. We asked him, what is the route of success going to United States? It was before I came to United States. So he said, there are two ways to go to succeed in United States. Two ways that people go. One is the way that you go to college, university, you get a degree, and another way is called, he said, Yashuvai. Right? Yashuvai, those who don't know better, in Farsi, instead of yeshiva, they say yashuva. Right? And he went on to say, you go to yeshiva, there is wars around the yeshiva, there are gods, you cannot see a lady, you cannot talk to ladies, they seclude you, they punish you if you speak to a lady. All these nonsense, right? Made me to become curious, made me to really look into it, made me to see the truth. But what about if a person would not go and just take that information for fact and accept it and go on? That person would never go near to yeshiva, would never send his children to yeshiva, would never want to deal with rabbis, would never want to open a Talmud. The whole life and the world to come is going to be affected because of this one individual who wasn't truthful. Right? So that's what it is. Hine kiken ma me'od sarich leizayer shelo lish'ol mechaver sheyagid lo davar sheyesh lachush shehu besod eslo. How careful a person needs to be, right? Not to ask someone that which is the secret. Supposed to be secret. One is not supposed to reveal secrets of others, right? And so and so knows, and you go to him, you tell him, my friend, Shalom, right? My friend, tell me, I'm not going to tell anyone. Tell me, right? What is he up to, right? Is he really making a buck, or no? He's just rich, and he's just trying to, show as if he doesn't have the money, right? And then you find out the truth, and whatever it is going to damage him. Right? If not every secret needs to be revealed, there are certain secrets that must be revealed for the sake of business partners, right? One who goes to find the truth, one should not hide it. There are conditions. For the sake of marriage, one needs to be truthful, right? Yeah. ועין הרוסה לגלות ומפני הבושה שלא ירצה לומר לו לא יוכל לגלות לך, and there is some sort of busha, embarrassment. This individual doesn't want to tell you the facts, doesn't want to tell you the truth, right? It's not because he's trying to hide it. Maybe he's just too embarrassed. Don't push him. If you push him, what is going to come out to? Sheker יבוא לשקר להמשיל לעניין אחר. You can't confess, right? He cannot confess. He's too embarrassed. Then what's going to do? He's going to manipulate the facts. He's going to say sheker, right? Or something else. And then بیا درستش کن. Come and fix it up, right? וכן לא ישאל מחבלו בתורת שאלה חפש שיש לחוש שלא יהיה חפש להשאילו. Right? You know your friend, you know that he has something, and he's not gonna lend it to you. Don't go to him and ask him. You know the response is no. You know he's not gonna give you, his this car, you got a Tesla. You got a Tesla, you want to just drive it to see how it feels like, right? But he's not going to give it to you. So don't go to him, don't bother him, right? Then if you bother him too much, what he's going to say? He's going to say, this car really belongs to my father, right? And my father doesn't want anybody to drive it. And here you go, there's a sheker, there's a lie over here. Okay? Yeah. מפני הבושה, because he's embarrassed. יבוא לשקר ולומר any, or he might come to say, no, that Tesla is not mine. Again, it's my father's. Or I don't have it. Oh, I just saw you drove Tesla. No, you must have mistaken me with somebody else. No, you don't have any twins. No, maybe you were just too tired. These days people daydream, whatever. And you see the car is right out the door of his home, right? וכל ערום יעשה בדעת ויהיה דובר אמת. So every person need to see and wait and do things in emetic way. You need to be truthful, but at the same time you can push someone. לא ישוב מפני כל ויהיה מחשב החפץ מספר חשוב כנגד סחרה ושכר עבירה כנגד הפסדה כי רבה וזה כלל גדול בתורה. And that one is to remember, right? A person that is, one is to remember that a person should always remember there is much more reward for a person who is truthful than a person who lies, right? And therefore stick with truth, right? Hashem bless those who are truthful. As we said, Hashem's stamp is Emet, Hashem's name is Emet, and Sheker is something that Hashem hates, and Hashem doesn't want to be among those people who lie. So may HaKadosh Baruch Hu help us that wherever we are, among whoever we are, we stay truthful, we go in the ways of Hashem, and we only remember and od milevado, there is nobody but Hashem. This way we don't come to lie. Baruch Adonai Leolam. Amen.